Hi, I'm Michelle. Ready or not, back to school season is here. And as you start thinking about that transition to a new school year and new routines, we're joined by Dr. Danny Huerta. He is focused on the family's Vice President of Parenting and Youth, and he's going to help us make some of that transition. Hi, Danny. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, Michelle. It's a joy to be with you.
Well, we're maybe not quite ready to talk about going back to school, but it is almost here. And so we wanted to check in with you and find out what is the importance of being ready emotionally. And I assume we're talking about both parents and kids?
Absolutely. And I think right now you just raised everyone's stress level, right? When you said back to school is here, and I'm sure parents have been seeing it in the stores. You walk into any of the big box stores or even online, and you begin to see back to school in early July. And I've heard parents say, "Oh man, that really lifts my stress level to a new level that day," and they begin to think about it. And we just need to be prepared emotionally for the fact that it is coming, and this is actually an opportunity to do some new things, learn some new things, and to make the school year fun. So as parents, we get to look at this coming school year as an opportunity or something that is scary or something that's completely annoying. But the fact is that it's here, and what's going to be most helpful is for us as parents to begin to see it as an opportunity for growth, an opportunity to improve our relationships with our kids and with each other in the home, and to develop rhythms that are going to be life-giving to the home. And that takes a lot of self-awareness as a parent. What is it that is going on inside of you as you think about the school year coming up? If it stresses you out, do you begin to disconnect from your kids? Do you become more reactive, more short with them, and then the stress level continues to pile? Or are you one that just kind of ignores it until it comes, and then your emotions start to hit the roof once you're in the middle of it and the stress is hitting you? Regardless, most parents hit one of those two, and it's inevitable that stress is going to get you.
So if we know that's kind of coming, how can we prepare for it?
Yeah, one of the terms that is popular out there but misunderstood or not even really understood fully is just psychological flexibility. It sounds big. It sounds self-explanatory that I'm going to be flexible psychologically, and it's a matter of knowing your own emotional reaction and tolerating it, allowing it to be an emotional reaction, and also your impulses, your what you're desiring to react from, maybe negative thoughts, aware of that, but then adjusting those towards effective parenting methods in the moment. So there's two pieces of understanding. One is you, as a parent, that flexibility of going, man, I feel this, but I'm going to decide to respond this way to help my child with what they're needing. And so the way this plays out is if your child comes up and is stressed out or is maybe going slow, getting ready for school, instead of reacting in that moment, see it as an opportunity to understand a little more deeply what's happening. So you have your emotions of frustration, you put those over to the side, and you see it as an opportunity, and you go, hey, tell me what's going on. I notice you're slowing everything down. Is there something that is just either maybe scary for you at school, or tell me what's going on, because I can tell from your behaviors that you're trying to communicate to me, I don't want to go to school. Help me understand that better. And what you're doing is exploring a little more deeply with your child, their experience. That's one example. Other ones can be that you have a lot of stress hitting you, and you, as that's happening, you go, wait a minute, is it really that big of a deal, all this busyness, or is there another way to look at it right now so that I can guide my family well and still have relational time, and there may be some things that just drop off, and is that okay? Or does everything need to be perfect? And that's a big question, because a lot of us struggle with that perfectionistic type of perception of what we need to be doing as parents, but it's all about relationship as we're guiding our kids well.
Would you say that it's different what that's going to look like when depending on the age of your kids?
Yes. So let's say with little kids, you're going to have different demands and different stresses that are going to come your way. They're going to be a lot more dependent on you for a variety of things. So there's going to be tugging at you for their attention, for your help with their homework or with packing lunches, things like that. And so you need to be ready for that, and you need to find ways to either find margin, maybe have timeouts for yourself, rest, so that you can be responsive to that, and teaching your kids how to begin learning how to take care of those on their own. And then with teenagers, there are different things that come up. Sometimes that's pushback on boundaries. Maybe it's they're not helping out with chores, or they're having a hard time following through on their homework. And all those have emotional responses from us. And if we follow that emotional response, all we're going to begin to create is a conflict with that teen. Go first towards the listening, the exploration. Go with it. Go with curiosity into that. Understand what's happening with the teen, and then guide them. There's still boundaries. There's still limits there, but there could be some treasure nuggets that you find out as far as what is really going on in my teen, and that can enhance your relationship and also give you a platform of influence because the teen feels heard and understood, even if it's correction or some rules that you need to reinforce. As long as there's relationship being built, that trust really helps you in having a less conflict as you're bringing voice into a correction or a direction that the teen is needing.
Yeah, so it sounds like in a lot of situations where we would assume that the child or the teenager is just being disobedient, that to stop and ask if there's another reason that they're stressed or that it's causing anxiety or something is causing them to act the way they are. You're kind of trying to get to the bottom of that. Does that sound right?
It takes time. Yes, you're totally right, Michelle. It takes time. It takes patience to explore that, and it's not just allowing it all to happen, but before reacting to or responding to it, exploring the perception from the teen's world, their point of view. It can lead to some rich discussion and lead to some closeness with your teen as you go through that.
How is this affecting kids long term when parents maybe learn to do this early on? Does that make a difference as they go through life?
It does. For teens, and for kids in general, what they've found in researchers have consistently found this, is that the internalizing behavior, so internalizing meaning anxious thoughts, anxious emotions, depression, things internal, all those markers go down when a parent practices this psychological flexibility and is more present with their child, more adaptive to what's happening in the child. And then they've also noticed that behavior issues go down. So that can be some of the risky behavior issues or defiant behavior issues or just behavior problems in general. It helps regulate a child seeing that a parent is entering a space with self-control, managing themselves well, and then responding and guiding them well. Kids do long for that structure, and at a deeper level, they really, really long to be known.
Yeah. Well, and I can imagine that would then help with things at school, that the teachers would appreciate that because that's going to lead to better behavior for them in the classroom, right?
It will. And as teachers go into this new school year, showing that as well, that as adults, many times we take things personally from kids, and what kids are doing is they're trying to learn how to manage the environment around them. Especially teenagers are becoming hypersensitive to the environment around them. They're going from known in their lives to a lot of unknowns and exploring the space and figuring out, how do I belong? How do I find a sense of competence, a sense of worth? How do I find autonomy? And how do I handle competition and this sense of rejection? They're big things they're trying to manage, and in that, they can act a certain way in order to resolve some of the deeper needs they have, and that can include being rude to a teacher. It can include messing around in class to try to gain admiration or affirmation from others. And younger kids haven't learned how to fully manage all their impulses that come up as emotions show up. So both of them have kind of skill deficits on finding their deeper needs in healthy ways. And as a teacher, as a parent, you're a kind of a coach for them in life, and you can process with them and help them make sense of the emotions they're feeling, what decisions they could be making, but you have to be well regulated in order to do that. And so if kids begin to see that or model that, they begin to learn how to manage themselves well as they're in relationship with others.
Talking with Dr. Danny Huerta of Focus on the Families, Parenting and Youth Department, and talking about back to school. Dr. Huerta, I wonder if you could just give us some practical things that parents could do right now to prepare their kids for the new school year and the stress that will come.
Yeah, begin thinking about the rhythms you need to have in place. So that can be sleep schedule, starting to reset that. Talking about chores and responsibilities that each child is going to need to have, and what things need to be finished up before the school year comes to pass. Some parents will say right now, "Oh, we need to finish cleaning the garage. We need to finish cleaning something in order to get things in order for the school year to come." Tackle that one. Maybe it's one room or the one thing that you know is necessary. You may not get to all of it, but if you can conquer one of those, it gets you closer to it. And then if you can get the sleep schedule in a place where the kids are going to bed closer to their normal school bedtimes, and then getting up a little earlier, that is so good to do a week or two ahead of time. So that's what you can begin doing now. That makes people more adaptive. And actually ask the question to your kids. If you're going on a walk or you go out to dinner, to say, hey, what's one thing or what are some things that you think we can do better this year than what we did last year? And then is there something that we need to repair? Is there something that is off between us that we need to talk about? Let's talk about that before it gets super busy. And this is a good time to have that one-on-one time of repair.
Yeah, you're really involving them in the decisions, too, instead of just telling them, hey, this is happening, and get with the program.
Yes, and when you're doing that, it's not all about them forming rules, so I don't want that misunderstood by parents. This is more about what are some of the systems we need to put in place, because each child has a different temperament and a different way of perceiving the world, interpreting the world, but also engaging with the world. And they need to begin to learn I need to have systems. What are they for me to be successful to accomplish the responsibilities I have in front of me? And if you have a child that is saying, man, I don't want to go to school, they have a real negative attitude about it, explore that a bit. Is it super boring? And that's theirs to own. So you need to figure out how to you can start reading. Here at Focus on the Family, we have articles on helping your kids with boredom. So begin to help them with that, because no one else is there to entertain them. They have to figure out how to adapt to the environment in front of them. So big one is boredom. Another one is just the intimidation that it's a new year. I have to start new friendships. I feel insecure going in, and that can be especially the freshmen or the ones entering middle school. They can begin to experience a lot of self-doubt of, all those unknowns that are coming their way, and they're dreading that first day. And then you have the social kids that can't wait to get in there. They can't wait to go to school. So you can have both in your home. And the ones that can't wait to go to school many times lack organization. They're the social ones that have a hard time with organization. Start to ask them, hey, what system do you need in place to help you become organized? And the one that is afraid of going to school, say, hey, what are some of the things that make you feel afraid? Let's talk about those, and let's make sure you're looking at them through a lens that's true.
Lots of great ways to get ready to go back to school for the whole family. And Dr. Danny Huerta is with Focus on the Family. And I just wonder if you could let us know where they can get some of those resources that you referenced.
Yeah, two places that I'd recommend you go. One of them is focusonthefamily.com/parenting. Those are general resources. And if you want to have resources sent to you at the age of each of your kids, you can sign up through mykidsage.com, and it'll give you insights specific to the age and the stage that you're in with each of your kids. You'll want to sign up for that.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We appreciate your insights and those resources, and hopefully that will be a help for parents listening today. Dr. Danny Huerta, thank you for joining us. Is there anything you'd like to say as we finish up?
No, Michelle. Thank you. Parents, lean in. You got this. It'll be a great year.
That's Dr. Danny Huerta of Focus on the Family. For Heartland Christian Broadcasters, I'm Michelle Easty.